You're listening to ABA One-on-One Podcast.
Hi guys, CJ here. We currently have a few positions available for relationship managers. If you would like the opportunity to work in sports marketing, this could be it. The ABA is the largest pro league in the world and partnered with the AAU, representing over 700,000 athletes around the world. Building business relationships and helping bring new audiences to every business we're working with is the goal. We're not limited to one state or region. Businesses partnering with sports is always a win-win for the community. Sound interesting? Then drop us an email and get more information at jobs@aba1on1.club, and we'll get back to you right away.
Sassy B Worldwide Productions. With over 25 years of entertainment experience, we have done it all. Celebrity appearances, red carpet events, image consultation, and branding design. Our clients range from American football stars to Hollywood celebrities and everyone in between. Want to make a splash in the entertainment industry? Then it's time to get sassy. SassyBWorldwide.com.
Hey guys, it's time for a new episode of ABA One-on-One.
Open up, yeah. Open up now. Open up. Open up, yeah. Open up. Open up now. I give a damn dog, give him a bone. Give a damn dog a bone. I give a damn dog, give him a bone. Give a damn dog a bone. I give him a bone.
Welcome back to another ABA One-on-One. We, it's the end of the year. You kind of like to, reminisce about the year. So we were reminiscing today, and man, Butch Beard is back with us. So just it should be a good show. I got Rick here with me. Brian is in the middle of a coaching thing, so he won't be able to hang out with us. But Butch, man, welcome home again. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, CJ. Hey, Rick, I'm doing great in spite of you, okay?
Whoa. That hurt, Butch.
I'm messing with you. You're
I know.
You're my guy.
We go back too long, too far.
No lie.
Yeah, and I need y'all to stay on good terms, so helps me out, helps the show out a little bit too.
There you go.
Oh my goodness!
You ain't gotta worry about me and Butch.
I know. Well,
the same cloth.
Hey, Rick, we're gonna let you kick it off because when we were talking in pre-show there, you said you only had about 65 questions, so better let you get started there. And I just jump in when I can.
I exaggerated 55 of them.
Oh, right.
But, Butch, I just want to start off, Butch, just talk a little bit about. We were talking, I think, last time about the championship year, which is always kind of stands out of my mind, that 75 championship year and all the ups and downs you guys went through, and it's just fascinating to me. Talk a little bit about that year from where y'all started to where you ultimately finished.
Well, Rick, when we went to camp in 75, it was really interesting in the mere fact that in 74, which was my first year with Golden State, it was an older team. We had Jeff Mullins, Nate Thurman, Clyde Lee, Rick, myself, Jim Barnett. It was an older team. So the Golden State Warriors had decided in 75 to make some changes with the roster. And the biggest change of all was, there were two big changes. Clyde Lee, they traded away, and they traded also, Nate Thurman for Clifford Ray. So nobody thought that those particular things that they did would be good for us. And when we went to camp, nobody knew what was going on. But after being there for a couple of days, you could start to see the cohesion, the personalities starting to blend. And
Right.
we came out of camp, you know, feeling pretty good about ourselves. And we at that time, Rick, what happened was that we played 2 games against the Los Angeles Lakers down in Santa Barbara. That was traditional in my 2 years out at Golden State. And we actually played pretty well. And after those 2 games, I think guys started to say, hey, we might be a little bit better than a lot of people think.
Now let me ask you something, Butch. Where was your training camp then?
Our training camp
In San Francisco?
No, our training camp, it's really funny. Our training camp in 75 was down at Menlo Park, which was south of San Francisco. And we had a college coach, and I think his last name was Presley. He came in and he was trying to show us what he wanted us to do on defense, and he was telling us how to take a charge, and he actually took a charge. Now he was an older gentleman. Okay, I'm just being polite. He was an old man. And hell, I think Derek Dickey, he took a charge against Derek Dickey. And when Derek hit him, I was standing there saying, hell, will he get up? He popped back. Wow. He popped back up, guys. I'm telling you, he said, now see, you can take that charge and not get hurt. And I said, but we bought into it.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, the 2 Laker games you were referring to, were they regular season games or exhibition games?
No. They were preseason games.
Okay.
And that's how we opened up our preseason. We normally played them twice. And then I think we played 8 games that year, Rick, preseason before the regular season, started. And we played pretty well in those preseason games, and we started to get some confidence as a team and as individuals. And so that's how it all started for the 75 championship Warriors.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Butch, last week, 2 weeks ago, I can't remember exactly how, 3 weeks ago, we had Rick Barry on. CJ, in his infamous wisdom, his first question to Rick Barry was, where did you learn to shoot those free throws underhand?
Oh my God.
So 15 minutes later, after Rick Barry's explanation, he said he went from an 80% free throw shooter to a 90-some percent free throw shooter. He did it with his dad.
Wow.
And I didn't know his dad was a coach. I didn't know that.
Well, I honestly thought that he learned a technique from his in-law, McHale, down in Miami.
Yeah, it could have been.
So that's where, Rick is Rick. Rick's going to tell you.
Rick is Rick.
The one thing about it is that Rick Barry helped George Johnson, our other center, who Clifford shared time with. He taught him how to shoot free throws underhanded. And Newbie couldn't throw the ball in the ocean if the ocean was about a half an inch from him. Okay, but he actually could shoot free throws. He ended up shooting about 74% shooting underhanded like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Rick spent a lot of time.
I know.
He spent a lot of time with him. He did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know Will Chamberlain did that too. He shot those free throws. I don't think he was quite as effective though.
No. Will's, you know what? When you think about it, if your hands are too big, then you're not going to get the same feel. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And Wilt's hands may have been too big. I saw Shaq try to shoot like that. I've seen a lot of big guys try to shoot underhanded, and I've tried it every now and then myself. I could never get it like Rick. Rick could put it up there. It would really be so soft, bounce around, bounce in, especially when you're tired and you're at the free throw line. But he was very good at it. I never could get that technique down personally, but I did try. I mean, he tried to convert every damn body shooting free throws on the end.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. That's amazing. Now,
come on, Rick. You got 61 more questions.
I got you, man.
Okay,
now,
man.
These aren't really questions.
It's good.
Points, CJ.
Yeah, these are really good, and we just keeping track. But 61 more to go. All right, go ahead,
CJ. These are bullets. These are bullets. These are talking points. They're not questions.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit. Butch, I know you played for a lot of coaches. Tell me how Al Adams compares to some of the other coaches. Didn't you play for Red Holtzman?
Yes. Al Adams is the reason why I got into coaching, because of the way that Al, especially the 2 years that I was there, and of course in '75, he really used his whole roster, all 10 of us. Of course, in order to do that, you have to give a little bit. You have to let your ego go someplace that you don't want it to go for the betterment of the team. But we were able to do that. He used us. There would be times when, you thought you were playing well and he yanked you and used somebody else and keep them out there longer than you thought. But that was what I really liked about Al, is that he used everybody. He had faith in everybody. And I had the same thing, Rick, when I was at Howard University. I had 10 guys. I used 10 guys, and that's the reason why we won the MEAC tournament and the MEAC that year that I was there at Howard, and got into the NC2A tournament, because I used all 10 of my kids, and I made them compete for playing time every day in practice and at every game.
Wow, that's great. That is fantastic. But a lot of players, a lot of coaches rather, in the NBA today, I think, and I guess it's at times, I think they got a 12-man roster or 13-man roster, but rarely does that 13, 14, 12, 13, 14 people person ever get in the game, unless it's a blowout or you're getting blown out. So most of them just have an 8. Well, you coached, you were the head coach in the NBA. What was your rotation? 8 people, 9 people?
I rotated 9 people, and I had a 10th guy that I used every now and then. And here's what you have to do as a coach at any level. The kids are the people that you don't use a lot. And when you're having one of those games where it's sluggish and you're trying to get the right combination. So you go all the way down to the end of the bench and you bring the guy in. And if the guy is playing, then you ride him for as long as you can. Now you have to know who he is and what he is in order for him to, make that substitution the right thing for you at that particular time. So Al, he did that a few times, because just like in everything in life, man, you're not going to be, 85, 90 to 100% ready to go every night. So you go ahead and you use that 1 or 2 guys and just let them stay out there. Now, here comes the other part of it, Rick, is that when that is happening, the dudes that are being substituted for have to understand that it is for the betterment of the team and not for your ego. And when you get it to be like that, then you really do have a good team atmosphere and everything. Everybody's on the same page.
Michael Cooper used to be like that. They would bring Coop in like 6th man, 7th man sometime, and then he would fill that role. And then when he started doing it really solid, next thing you know, he's on the starting 5, So
yes,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes. And CJ, I played that role for 3 years in New York after I got traded there. And because I was the third guard behind 2 great players, 2 icons, That was
Hall
Earl
of
Monroe,
Famers.
Frazier. Yes,
Mm.
Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier. So you just have to understand where you fit in the whole thing. Yeah, the good thing about when I played with the Knicks and was the third guard, those two guys would tell me, that you go to the locker room and getting dressed, like Clyde would tell me, Beard, the legs are gone tonight, Beard. You're going to have to get some more extra time, And our Earl would come over and say, look, I'm tired tonight. I don't have it. So then I had to readjust my thought process, watching the game, trying to stay in it emotionally before I got out there to play. And it's a tough thing, but, I was able to hopefully pull it off.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's amazing. All the little things, the psychological things that go into NBA season, NBA games, stuff like that, they're always very fascinating to me because it's so iconic that people there's no bad NBA player. I used to tell people that.
No.
I agree with that.
When I was at Bethune-Cookman, I think I told you this, Butch, we'd be riding in the vans from the airport to Morgan or Compton or wherever we was going, and the guys, they're all talking, and this guy can't play. And I said, wait a minute, guys, stop. In the NBA, there is no such animals can't play. There's some that don't, there's others, but there's no such animal. The worst player in the NBA would dominate any league in the world. The worst player.
Yep.
So, I just thought that was a little misnomer that people thought, oh, yeah, this guy can't play. No. If you're on an NBA roster and somebody's paying you that kind of money, you can play.
You got to be good at something. You got to be good at something. And here's the key to it, guys. Each player has to find his own little niche, first of all, in the league. And that is, how his game translates into playing time and getting recognized. The next thing you have to do is try to figure out how your game translates with your team and teammates in order for you to win. Okay? And some guys will not let that go. Some guys will tell you, I'm a better shooter than statistics will tell you. I'm a better this. Really, they do. So I'm gonna give you something. The way the game is played today. What do we do in college and in pros and everything now, even high school? What do? We shoot nothing but threes now, right? So we have big guys out, 35 feet from the hoop. That's where the offenses start, 35 feet from the hoop, okay? Guys weaving and bobbing and I don't know what they're doing, okay? Then you throw the ball to the big guy and the big guy dribble penetrates and he's supposed to kick to the guy in the corner, when the defense comes to him. Well, you know what? A lot of big guys can't do that stuff, all right? Yep. So now you're looking at legendary players. You think Dennis Rodman would be an all-time great player if he played today? Hey, I'll give you another one. What about Karl Malone? He doesn't even shoot a three. He posts up.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good point.
See, but as I tell people all the time, and I'm a little crazy, so you take what I say with a grain of salt. I tell them all the time, all this stuff that with analytics and all this craziness that I hear guys talk on TV and the commentators talk about, sooner or later, somewhere down the road, as that game is going on, you're gonna have to play basketball as we were brought up. You're gonna have to throw the ball down inside and get somebody a shot there, kick it back out. You're not going to do all that craziness.
Agreed.
So I mean, sooner or later, you're going to do that. And the sooner you establish that, the better off you are.
Man, I watched so many of the great players, the great shooters, and when they enter open court, they can't make a layup. I watched Steph Curry and people miss so many layups that it just because they don't have that kind of old school fundamental. Like, I mean, you hear about back in the day where I can't remember, it's Ralph Sampson or one of those big guys that their coach just everybody's shooting and running drill, and they just made him just keep turning around, laying the ball up on the backboard, laying the ball, continuously. He had to do 150 of them, and the big guys, a lot of them can't make layups.
I watched the game last night, guys. I know they're not the premier college basketball teams in America, but it was an ACC Big Ten matchup. I never saw so many missed layups, like you said, CJ, in my life. And I'm telling you, we talk about the way that these guys practice now, right? Yep. I mean, nobody's going. So hey, Rick, we can't say anybody's going to school because nobody's going to school now. All right? Nobody. So don't tell. So nobody in college is getting an education. So forget that. Okay? So these guys go in the gym, and I keep hearing them talk about, they're developmental coaches. Well, hell, will somebody teach one of these damn kids to shoot a left-handed layup properly and to finish? Like shoot a little 12-foot bank shot instead of, they can pull up and do that instead of running over 15 people trying to get to the hoop. I mean, it's just the simple things that would make the game a little bit easier to play and look at. Right now, it's ugly basketball now at all levels. All levels. I don't even like it. I don't even like the way the pros play. I just like their skill level because they can hit threes.
Yeah, sorry, Rick. I was just going to say real quick. My coach, Coach Davis, never forget him. At the next practice after the game, he pulled out his little chart and he go, Henderson, you missed 4 layups, and that means you had to hit the bleachers. It's like, we had it hard. And now, like I said, they can't make layups these days. The simplest shot. They can make a 3, but they can't make a layup.
Well, it's debatable if they can make a 3, CJ. They just throw up so many of them. They hit one, you say, oh, man, he hit that 3. Okay.
Well, the guys, when I was practicing, when I was in junior college for about 8 or 9 years, I had this thing about missed layups. It drives me crazy. And we would set a number. If you miss a layup, where everybody lines up, we run. It's right away. We don't mess around. Line them up. And all the kids know that. So that's putting pressure on other kids, are putting pressure on each other. You don't miss a layup. I mean, a wide open layup, that's lack of concentration. That's not lack of ability. There's no excuse for missing a wide open layup. None. Zero excuse for that.
Well, I did the same thing at Howard, but I did most of the punishment when we were warming up. For instance, if you were running a 3-man weave or 3 passes, and scoring on a layup. If they missed the layup, then you weren't up and back. You just kept going until you get 2 layups. Okay.
Yeah.
And so sometimes some of those kids would be out there for it seemed like forever. Then it got to the point where I would get, a little upset, you would say.
I've heard you in practice, but you don't tell me that now.
So I would put them all on the line. Okay. So like you said, Rick, I would put them all on the line to try to make them, make each other accountable. I don't even know if you could do that today. Okay. Old school stuff, I don't even know if you could do today.
Well,
so true.
But the layup thing, though, I just think that's,
it's lack of concentration. It is. You're right, Rick. But I mean, but here's the key to it all. In the game, okay, they have to go at a certain speed in order to hit that layup. In practice, they want to, they just want to throw it up there. Oh, it's going to go in. There's no defense. Then, in order to play this game, guys, and in order to be good at this, so you got to have, you really do have to be a dreamer. You have to, sometimes when you're out there working out by yourself, it means that you crossed over. I crossed over Michael Jordan. I pulled up and hit a jump on him. You understand? You got to play games with yourself in order for you to be good. And these kids, I don't think anybody tries to explain that to them at all.
No.
Oh, I beat a whole bunch of good players before I got to the pros. I was wearing Oscar Robertson and Jerry West out.
Oh man,
That's right. Did you guys, when you were getting back to college, Butch, when you were at Louisville, I guess your junior year or senior year, what was your best year? Your senior year or your junior? Didn't you have a real good junior year? My memory serves.
My sophomore and senior year. My junior year, I fed Wes Unseld the ball. Wes was a great player, a great rebounder. Wasn't a great scorer. If you look at Wes Unseld's college career, his senior year, he averaged about 24 points a game, which is about 6 to 8 points more than he averaged his sophomore year and his junior year. That's because they moved me out at the guard to drop it down inside to him. I think my sophomore year was really, I averaged 20 points plus both my sophomore and senior year. But I think my sophomore year was probably my best year. It was the most exciting you could see Butch Beard do what he did, whatever that was.
You guys played a pretty high profile schedule too, didn't you?
Yeah, my sophomore year, it's hard to believe, we ended up being the number 2 team in the nation behind UCLA.
wow.
We happened to have gotten upset by Southern Methodist in the Midwest region out at the University of Kansas. I'll never forget it. We lost by 4, about 2, I think. Might have been 2 or 3. Might have been 4. I don't know. It should have never happened. That was the closest I think we could have come to, being in the Final Four. We were very good that year. We were very good. But I guess Butch choked.
The unfortunate part about it was during those years, the late 60s and 70s, early 70s, was they're in the same league, same with UCLA. I mean, a lot of great teams, and that was back in the day when only one team went from each conference.
Yeah, well, we weren't in their conference, but we were in their region. So we'd had to go through them. No, they would have been in the West. We were in the Midwest region. We had to go to Houston. And Houston upset UCLA, and the rest is history about that. And I just truly believe, they wouldn't have let anybody upset Houston so they would have that rematch again for TV. That's my conspiracy theory about college basketball.
I've never heard that, but that's a great point. I've never heard that theory before, but that's a great point, because remember, Lou Alcindor had scratched eye, and Elvin Hayes and Houston beat them in the Astrodome.
Right.
Broke their 70-game winning streak or whatever they had. And then they ended up in the semifinals of the national championship, and UCLA blew their doors off. Yes.
And let me tell you now, that was the following year that happened. You know that, Rick? We played the University of Houston in the Midwest region, to have a chance to go to the Final Four. And we played at Wichita State. And they beat, you know who beat us? Ken Spain. Go back and take a look. Ken Spain, the big center, along with Elvin and Don Chaney, Reynolds. Ken Spain had the game of his life against us. We ended up losing by, I think, about 8, maybe 6, something like that. It was a very competitive game. The only thing that I regret, even though I think I had 21, 22 points. I regret that I should have been more aggressive in that game. Instead of just being the average, you understand, instead of me getting my numbers, I talk to my kids about it, said I should have been more aggressive in that game. I should have at least tried to score 30 points because I was capable of scoring 30 points every night if I wanted to. And I said, I should have been more aggressive in that. And just instead of being a good teammate and making sure everybody gets involved.
Yeah. Well, someone else I don't want to mention, I'd like for you to comment on, Butch, was Red Holtzman. I've always heard stories about him. I got a chance to meet him one time when Knicks were in Charleston, South Carolina, and I went to training camp. I got a chance to meet him. Tell me a little bit about Red Holtzman. I know he's an icon.
He's not only an icon, he's, other than Al Attles, he's the best man I know when it comes to coaching. Red Holtzman.
Personalities, you mean? Dealing with
No, just coaching, period. I never would have been coaching if it wasn't for him. Red Holtzman had the canny ability to work a game better than anybody I know. And when I became a coach, I used to sit by him and watch him, call timeouts, make substitutions, listen to him really a lot, during timeouts when, coaches would get, step away from the bench while the players are sat down and just listen to him, his thought process at that particular time. And I took a lot of what I know from him, but here was the one thing that I took from him more than anything else. And I didn't know this when I was a player, Red would have for camp, he would bring in players to get Clyde and Earl in good shape. And these guys would get cut. They'd be the last guys to get cut all the time, okay? And you often wondered, why the hell do they keep coming back? Well, Red brought him in, told him, this is what I would like for you to do for us. And instead of getting a little bit of money, he paid them well. Okay? They knew they were going to get cut. And he paid them well. And they did their job. They'd come to practice every day. They'd bust their butts. They'd make sure, the people that he wanted to get in shape, they made sure they got him in shape. So Red didn't lie to them. You understand?
Yeah.
I've had coaches at the professional level lie to poor little Butch Beard who couldn't play dead in the rodeo flick, okay? But just lie and you have no respect for them.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
You have no respect for them.
Wow.
Red, I have the utmost respect. I'm going to tell you a Red Holtzman story. Red Holtzman carried an old grandfather's round clock with him in his pocket, okay? It was always 5 minutes fast. All right? So Red was the first to find people. He find you $1 a minute. Now, $1 a minute. Come on. All right?
Oh my God.
but you walk out on that floor, practice was supposed to start at a certain time. You walk out there, see, practices are going to always start 5 minutes before he said practice was going to start. So as you're standing there and, you're standing in that circle and getting ready for the day, Red would say, hey, Spencer, you owe me $5. You were late. But Red, no, give Danny the $5 or give Mike Saunders the $5,
Wow.
So that was his way of trying to make you become accountable for being where you had to be on time. My first time there, we practiced at Pace University downtown. And I wear contacts. I used to wear contacts. And I took my contacts out after practice because we were going to go up and watch a film. And I left my contact case up on top of a doggone locker. So as I got to the room where we were going to watch the tape, I said, oh, man, I got to go get my contacts. So Clyde, he just started rolling, laughing like crazy. I didn't know what he's laughing about. So I go down, I get my contacts, I come back up, I run, go and sit down in my chair in the room. Red looked at me. He said, "That's $7." So what the hell are you talking about? $7? I'm here on time. $7. You were supposed to be here. My film was supposed to start 7 minutes ago.
Oh my
I said,
God.
Red, you got to be kidding me. Don't
Oh.
you know he did not start that damn film until I gave Danny $7? Danny Whalen. I gave Danny Whalen $7 and we watched the film. And Clyde was over there. He was rolling because that was Red. That was Red's way of messing with you. Okay. And I told
Butch, I got to tell you, you're getting too good at this. we got about 3 minutes left, and you came in with the story right on time. I love it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but really, I just told Red you'll never find me again, and he never did. Okay.
Oh, you the man.
That's great. That's great.
I'm gonna write a book.
I know. I'm waiting on it.
Hey, Butch, the other thing I wanted to mention to you, and I know I've done this before, was a guy that I met in Walterboro, South Carolina. His name was Dean Meminger. And I think that's where he grew up, but he moved to New York, I think, when he was old enough. He was